The rain was relentless that night, each drop a tiny fist pounding against the old house. I was 12, and my family had just moved into this place, a sprawling relic full of shadows and strange noises. My name is Ayaan, and this is the story of the mirror. It was in the attic, a space I wasn't supposed to enter. But curiosity, as they say, is a dangerous thing. The mirror was huge, oval, with a dark, ornate frame carved with figures I couldn't quite make out. It was covered in a thick layer of dust, which I wiped away with my sleeve. The glass was strangely dark, not reflecting my image clearly, but showing a murky, distorted version of the attic behind me. I remember feeling a sudden chill, a cold that had nothing to do with the drafty attic. I leaned closer, trying to see my reflection properly. That's when I saw it. For a split second, behind my faint reflection, another face flickered into view. It was pale, with wide, dark eyes and a lipless mouth stretched into a silent scream. I stumbled back, my heart hammering against my ribs. I told myself it was just a trick of the light, a smudge on the glass, but the image was burned into my mind. I ran out of the attic, slamming the door shut, and didn't look back. But the mirror wasn't done with me. That night, sleep was impossible. The sound of the rain was punctuated by a soft, rhythmic tapping. At first, I thought it was a branch against my window. But it was coming from inside the house. Tap, tap. I pulled the covers over my head, my imagination running wild. I thought of the attic, of that face in the mirror. The tapping grew louder, closer. It sounded like it was coming from just outside my bedroom door. I held my breath, listening. Silence. Then, a slow creaking sound, as if my door was being pushed open. I peeked out from under the blanket. The room was pitch black, but a sliver of moonlight cut through the window, illuminating a shape standing in my doorway. It was tall and thin, a silhouette against the dark hallway. It didn't move. It just stood there, watching. My blood ran cold. I wanted to scream for my parents, but my throat was tight with fear. The figure took a step into the room, then another. It was a boy about my age, but his skin was unnaturally pale, almost translucent in the dim light. His eyes were hollow black pits, and his mouth was stretched wide in that same silent scream I'd seen in the mirror. He raised a hand, pointing a long, thin finger, not at me, but at the wall opposite my bed. I followed his gaze. My dresser mirror, the one I used every day, was no longer reflecting my room. It was showing the attic. The dusty, cobweb-filled attic with the large, ornate mirror standing in the center. And inside that mirror, within the mirror on my wall, I saw myself. I was standing in front of it just as I had been that afternoon, but this reflection of me wasn't looking out. It was looking back at the boy in my room, a look of pure terror on its face. The boy in my room began to fade, dissolving like smoke, and as he did, the reflection of me in the attic mirror began to smile. It wasn't my smile. It was wide, unnatural, and utterly terrifying. The image in my dresser mirror shattered, not with a sound, but with a silent implosion of light. Returning to the normal reflection of my dark room, the boy was gone. I lay there, paralyzed, until the sun came up. I never told my parents what happened. How could I explain it? We moved out of that house a year later, but the memory of that night, of the boy and the mirror, has never left me. Sometimes late at night when I'm alone, I'll catch a glimpse of movement in a reflection, a flicker of a pale face in the glass. I avoid mirrors now, because I know that something is still looking back, waiting, and I'm afraid that one day it will find its way out again. Thanks for listening, and remember to subscribe for more strange tales. Stay safe.